church before that, I had a baseball team. And I just wanted to try my hand at playing baseball and wanted to coach. So I had gone into the coaching, where you pick your players. And they were all sitting there smiling. They look like baseball coaches. You know what I mean? They chewing the stuff. And I'm like, that's nasty. I'm thinking of what my mama would say, And they got the hats and they looking all, and they got the books and the checkbooks and they say, well, it's funny you're here now, but we've picked all the kids, so you can have what's left. And I'm like, something doesn't feel right, but okay. And then they started telling me who I had. I had all the ones nobody wanted. I had this was a boys' league, and they let girls play, so they gave me the girls. They gave me the slowest ones. They gave me the kids with autism. But if they only... So, with my team, first thing you do is everyone had a first name, and I can't remember people's names. So I started naming them what I wanted them to be. He couldn't catch. I was like, oh, you Mr. Mitt. Come on, baby. You can catch. You're Sir Catch-A-Lot. That's what your name is. Sir Catch-A-Lot. My son would strike out, and he was playing on my league. I say, I'm going to call you Thunder. Because when you hit that ball, it sounds like thunder, and you're going to knock it into the outside. And then when we had this kid on our team who was like fastest kid in the world, and I said, I don't know what your name is, but you're lightning. And I said, when you run, it's like lightning. And they're like, yeah, I'm lightning. I'm lightning. Let me say this to you. Sometimes you can't listen to nobody else give you a name. You got to listen to what God said over your life. Because everybody else will count you out. Right now, you may count yourself out, but I'm the coach right now. I want you to listen to me. You have a name that people don't even know. And if they knew who you were. So there was one kid, he was autistic. And this dude would watch baseball. And he would watch it, and he'd get all the uniforms. I mean, the right colors. He had it all together. The hat, he had the baseball, the gloves. And when he'd get up to the plate, he'd do exactly what they would do. He'd be sitting there just like this. Now, I knew that boy couldn't even hit that ball. And I'm saying, he can't hit the ball. But you know what? I said, okay, here's what your name is. You Major League. You Major League, baby. You Major League. So all of a sudden, I'm just teaching the kids the basics, and I loved on them. No matter what the other people, we would go play, and you had parents cussing at their kids and yelling at their kids and saying names to their kids. But on my field, you couldn't yell at a kid. You had to encourage that kid. You said, no, you can do it. You can have it. Listen, you want a home run? Go do it right now. And they go out there, and I encouraged them until we won the first game. And then the second game. Then we went on to the third game and won it. Now they're getting a little testy. Parents come out, something wrong, he cheating. We know who these kids are. That's Major League, baby. Look at your neighbor and say, you Major League. Now, see, all they saw was a kid who was autistic, who liked to go through the motions, but couldn't do nothing. And every time he came up to bat, they said, bring it in. It's Major League, bring it in. And because they knew he would strike out. Well, we got through the season. Turns out we are in second place. we had to play this team to go out to the playoffs. And I'll never forget, we had bases loaded. Okay, bases loaded. Lightning was on third base. Sir Catch-a-Lot was on second base. Thunder was on first base. And the next one up, bottom of the ninth, we had 2 strikes, and Major League was up. Now, you know, it's like at that moment, you've got to ask the hard question. I know I could swap it out because I know he's not good at hitting the ball. At least that's what people say. Or I can trust God with what he gave me. Y'all missed that. You better trust God with what he gave you. Woo! You keep looking over that fence saying the grass is greener on the other side, but you don't know all the fertilizer you got to step in. You don't understand what they got to go through and what they have to suffer. And it's before you start picking what looks right, pick God's, what he gave you. You don't have to go outside. When you were born in this earth, inside of you, he put everything you need for you to be successful. This here, right here. So instead of looking at somebody else, look inside yourself and say, God, what is in my hands? What can I do for you? How can you use me? God, I know how I feel, but God, you're God, and you made the earth in 7 days. You spit the stars in the atmosphere. You caused the waters to rise and the dirt to form. You caused the sun to ignite and shine off that moon. And at night, I can look up and see your glory. So if you could do that, you got to trust that God made you right. Most of the times, the issue isn't what God did. It is we don't know what we have in us. We overlook our lives because all we see is the mistakes that we make. We could tell you what's wrong with us, but how many of you could tell yourself what's good about you? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and say, you know what? You a bad joker. I mean, they wonder if I'm crazy in my house because I go in my mirror, I'm like, boy, you look good, baby. I'm like, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. And I talk to myself and say, you know what? I will succeed. I'm going to make this thing. Why? Because he is with me even to the ends of the world. And what he started, he will, if they only. Because let me say something to you. You will, in this world, suffer tribulation. You will struggle. You will have pressure and stress. And you will say to yourself at times, you know what? It's like I just get out of something and now I'm falling into something else. God, give me a break. And all God says, I'm going to break you off a part of that Kit Kat bar. That's all you're going to get. You better just be satisfied. And you're saying, God, why is this happening? And God says, listen, I got to pressurize you. I gotta get to the point where you realize all them people aren't gonna choose you. When he went after a king, he didn't go after David's brothers. He went after David, who was out in the field. He had to be a nobody before he became a somebody. And what God does, he breaks down our identity we build up on what we think we should be. And then when we get to the point where we're like, God, I don't know who I am. He says, exactly. Now let me tell you who you are. Because if they only knew. So Major League, it's the bottom of the ninth. It was 2 outs. He had 3 balls, 2 strikes. What are you going to do? I can, if I would have just took it into my own hands, I could have put somebody else in that place. And I would have won the game. But I knew God had something in Major League. People were like, Coach, change him out. No, that's not what it's about. It's about these kids. And so Major League got up. He doesn't speak. He just moves. Got up to that bat, kicked the dirt. I don't know what he was kicking. Kicked the dirt. Bases loaded now. And he's sitting down there, and the coach is going, bring him in. He don't hit hard. Bring him in, bring him in. And everyone's laughing. Major League gets down, gets that ball. And that ball came straight at Major League, and Major League went, and that ball went, plop, and the whole baseball field was quiet, like, and I'm like, run! So the other team's bouncing around. They're throwing the ball. They threw it to the outside, out to the outfield. They dropped the ball. All of a sudden, one came running in, and then another came running in, and then another one came running. They're tossing the ball everywhere because nobody was ready for Major League. Come on. See, it may be the bottom of the ninth. It looks like you're out. But if God is on my side, you better get ready, baby, because I'm Major League.